Peekaboo. Yahoo. Whoa. You look kind of funny from this angle. I don't know, I've just never properly looked at you like this before. Anyway. Hi. Yahoo. Sorry, I'm feeling a little whimsical today. I look funny. You think I look funny? You gonna stand by that? You gonna say that to me? You gonna talk like that to me, to Kaelix? Are you sure? I do look kind of funny. And I kind of do, not gonna lie. I mean, look at me. Goofy. How have you been? I look easy to draw. Oh my gosh, I haven't thought about that one in a minute. That's a TikTok meme from like 2 years ago now. 2 or 3 years ago. Like the very crazy kind of clapback, like very unique curated insults. Because you know, it's very mean. I don't like when people say this, but it's a very common insult to just be like, you look ugly, or you know, to say mean things like that. It is a special kind of insult to look at somebody and say, you look easy to draw. Am I easy to draw? I feel like people complain about it a lot. I just can't help but look so complicated. What can I say? People are complicated in general, and I really love that. So I pride myself in being a very complicated individual. Yeah, I hope you've been well recently. I hope you've been well. It's been a few days since we could probably talk one-on-one, right? Because there's a lot that happened recently. There was the big mix and match event over on the main channel on Saturday. Yeah, Saturday. And then Sunday, I took the day off to rest because of all the 200K celebrations the days prior. And then yesterday, it was a collab off channel, so we didn't really talk at all. Yeah. It's been a minute. Me and my glasses. Hey, I get it. I've tried to draw my own glasses a few times, and I don't know. Glasses are just kind of hard to draw. But it's so satisfying when you finally get the angle right, you know? So, mad respect if you've ever struggled with drawing me and you came out on top anyway. Obsessed with Home. You like my song? Yeah, did you know that I released a song? I released my first original single, my very first one. Well, released in air quotes. It won't be properly streaming on like Spotify and stuff until January, probably. So it's like released in air quotes. You got the MV and the song and everything. It's just not commercially available yet. You like it? Thank you. Thank you for being so nice about it. I worked really hard. I just wish I could have done it sooner. It took me so long to get it done. But I needed to do it. I needed it so bad. I needed it as soon as possible. I'm very happy that I was able to do it before the end of 2025. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you heard that. There's a very large buzzing bug. Did you hear that? Like that? In the distance as it buzzed in one direction and landed on a surface. There's a large bug. If it causes problems, I'll collect it and put it outside, but for now I'll just let it hang out over there. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it. I did my best. Holy moly. There's a lot to catch up on. How am I holding up in the cold? It has been so rough. If you know me, you know that I'm really weak to the cold. I love winter in that I love the way that winter looks. You know, I love looking at snow. I love the aesthetic of the holiday season and the warmth of like family coming together and friends meeting up and stuff like that. I love that, but you know, I spend the entire season with my nose corked up with rubber. Like I cannot breathe in or out of my nose the entire season. I'm super weak to the cold. Even right now, I'm wearing 2 pairs of pants. There's my regular uniform that you see, and then underneath there's a pair of sweatpants. And instead of my usual socks, I'm wearing winter socks. I don't know if you've ever seen those. Where I live, you see them sometimes. They're these very thick socks. Very, very thick wool socks. Woolen socks. They're extra thick and they cling extra tight to your legs. They're very good for keeping the heat trapped in. I find that I have to double up on socks in general because my feet are the coldest part of my body. Just in general. They're always super icy, frigid, cold, miserable. Like, I don't even like touching my own feet when it gets this cold. Because it's like I'm touching like an ice cube. I just can't. So I've been struggling. I've been going through it. We're finally reaching the point of fall here in Kokiri Village where it's not really snowing, but it really feels like it's snowing. I woke up one morning and I thought it was a snow day because it was just that cold. It was just that cold outside. I was so sure, and then I looked outside and there was not a single flake on the ground. Kind of embarrassing for me, but it probably will be snowing before long. Yeah. It's just been very, very, very cold, so. Go around my house with socks on? Yes. And I actually normally hate that. Something else to know about me is that I hate wearing clothes around the house. I hate it. I hate having socks on especially. My feet are pretty sensitive, so I don't like wearing tight socks. I choose not to wear shoes unless I'm going out. And even then, like if I go outside just to do basic stuff in the yard, I don't put any shoes or socks on. I only do that if I'm gonna like walk, like leave the house, kind of go outside. So it's been rough. It's been rough for me. I've been going through it. Because in order to survive the winter, I have no choice but to wear socks at all times. The one buff that I like about it is that when you finally get to pull the socks off, if you do it like when you're in bed, it feels so nice. Have you ever done that? I think I've asked you this before. You know, like when you pull your socks off in bed and your feet are like more sensitive, so you put them in a soft blanket and it feels like heaven. I love it. I love that. That's what I look forward to. That's what's getting me through it, wearing socks all the time, even when I'm off the clock. The moment it's warm enough in my bed for me to slip them off and just submerge them in soft blanket, it's heaven. It's magical. Anyway, there's a lot for us to catch up on, but we can do it as we play. We are on a bit of a time crunch today. I do have... Can you guess? Can you guess? Maybe you've figured out my schedule by now. There are some things that I do on a fixed time, on a weekly basis. I have I have something I have to step away for here in a few hours. That's why I started today's stream an hour earlier than usual. I usually start at 7 p.m., but I decided to do 6 p.m. EST today so that we could get 1 extra hour in, just to make it a little bit easier. Yeah, I will need to step away here in a few hours, so it would be in our best interest to catch up while we play, don't you think? Whoa. Oh, I forgot to do this. Now, where is it? Okay, there we go. Yeah, we're gonna cross some animals today. Today we're playing Animal Crossing, where it is also covered in snow. The island of Sarumaru has been covered in snow, and I'm miserable. I don't want to be here anymore. Unironically, when I play video games that have a virtual winter with snow, I love it. It's so beautiful, and the music is always really nice. But the moment it hits that part of the video game, whether it's Stardew Valley, whether it's Harvest Moon, whether it's Animal Crossing, any game with winter in it, when I get there and I stay there long enough, I start experiencing like seasonal sadness symptoms just from playing the video game. It's so weird. It is such a weird thing. But I did go ahead. You may remember that we have a specific path that we use here on the island to give a very natural feel. The creator that made and designed that path that we've been using, they actually have a version for every season. So I went ahead and grabbed the version that they use in the winter, and I updated it so it automatically replaced everything. So you may notice that it naturally flows with the snow now. Looks pretty nice, right? You like it? You like? Oh, and you may notice that we now have like snowmen available to speak. I got this perfect snow boy yesterday. Pretty cute. I've gotten the perfect snowman strategy down to a science. Before we progress though, and before we start catching up on the recent days, how is the volume right now? Is the game too loud? Is the game too quiet? Is it just right? What can I do to make it awesome for you? Tell me exactly what I gotta do. It's great. Up a little bit? Okay. Maybe just a tiny bit. A bit low? Okay, yeah. I'll raise it by... Let's see, like 3%? Like that? Is that noticeably louder? Not enough? A little bit louder, maybe? How's this? How's the sound of my voice over the footsteps? Or perhaps over the menu sounds? Is it a good balance? Can you hear my voice okay while also hearing the game and everything you need to know and hear? You hear everything? It's good? Awesome! Sugoi, thank you for your help. You're always so helpful. So, you may notice that everything is blanketed in snow. Recently, Isabel also started an announcement in the morning and was like, by the way, I worked really hard and put all these Christmas lights on the pine trees. So you may notice that a lot of the pine trees, I think about half of them, they have Christmas lights on them. They got the little fairy lights on them. But yeah. What was that? Did you see that? That was a, what is it called? The poop bug. What is it called? There's a name for that. Something, it's like a synonym for poop bug. Which kind of bug is that? I'm blanking on what the name is. A dung beetle. Thank you. Dung beetle. Dung is in poop. Yeah, because what they do is they roll poop into a little ball with the dirt and the mud, and they just keep rolling it till it gets bigger. You catch them in the winter in this game because instead of showing you like a big wad of poop and dirt, they thought it would be more delicate to have the bugs push snowballs, I guess. Which is pretty tasteful. You may notice that I have some furniture here. Over the last few days, I've been playing pretty consistently in my days while I'm resting. Over the last week, I've played the majority of the days, and I've been trying to craft and gather some furniture and items to display in various places. I haven't gotten everything I wanted for this area yet, but I do have a few items that I want to play around with here and get an idea. I still need to order the incline for this spot, but now you should be able to kind of see the general direction I wanted to take for this, right? You see the vibe? Those are the two areas that we'll mostly be focusing on today in the game. I may do a little bit of terraforming. I need to continue the progress on the river. Establish a clear plan there. What did I get in the mail? I think I ordered a painting yesterday. Yeah, and I think it's real too. You can verify it for me. And I got a new sweater. We'll have to determine our swag before we start too, because this is just the outfit that I've been wearing recently while I play off stream. I didn't do a slideshow moment like I normally would because I wasn't really doing anything of value. Just menial stuff. Let's see. I'm pretty sure this is real. Maybe you can help me. Okay, hold on. We can figure out together. So, I think with this one, the way to know if it's fake or not is to look at the pot that she's pouring out from and to see how realistic the stream of milk looks like. I assume it's milk, right? Or like cream. I think the fake version has a really big amount of milk that's pouring out, whereas the real version is a very, a modest little trickle, right? So I think this is real. Yeah. Which means we can donate this one. I will hold on to it for now. I'm going to put it down here. All right, first things first. We got to do our swag. We We gotta update our swag fo today. Fo today. Ooh, it might actually be better to go to the tailors first. Come to think of it. Just in case we find something that's you know, a better fit that I don't have yet. I've been going to the tailors every day to try and up my winter stock because you may remember I was having a bit of a swag crisis when we were playing before because all my clothes and my wardrobe were for spring and summer. Minion o debab fo today. Minion or debab fo today. I love that image. Anyway, there's a lot that happened recently that we got to catch up on. We haven't really talked about mix and match, have we? That was lots of fun, right? Did you enjoy that? What was your favorite moment? Did you watch it? Did you see Niji mix and match? It was such a fun event. I'm so happy that I was invited. I really, really enjoyed it. I like that best. You like the dancing one? That was really cool. I was really obsessed with the way that Maria approached that one because hers looked like actual choreography. Though Zali was really, really good at that. I knew exactly what he was trying to tell me while he also maintained a dancer vibe while he was doing it. So I was very proud of my teammate as well. Of course, we can't ignore Doppio's approach in the dancing challenge. It was something. It could still be called dancing, I would say. There's a very popular artistic form of dancing known as interpretive dancing. Very beloved in certain circles. Yeah. Yeah, I was very lucky. I feel like me and Zali had really, really good synergy, which I was very, very happy about. I was a little worried going in because I didn't know if I would... Like, regardless, even knowing exactly who the contestants were, I didn't know if I would actually match well with any of the three of them in terms of, like, doing well and competing for prizes. But it ended up working really well for me, so I'm very proud. I'm very proud of our team. I felt like I was on, like, Kakegurui a couple times there. Because my strategies for handling a couple of those challenges were a little too nerd emoji. I worry. I'm afraid I was a little too nerd emoji a couple times. I felt like I was on Kakegurui. Like I felt like Yumeko when we were doing the pedometer, or as we called it, the petrometer challenge. I felt like Miss Yumeko Jabami. I felt like her when I when I was like, oh yeah, I just identified one leg, counted it, and multiplied it by 3 and rounded up. Like I felt like her. I felt like Miss Girl from what is it called? What's the name of the Gakuen? I can't remember. Anyway, I really liked it though, and it felt really cool to have the closest number for that one. And then it felt really vindicating to, because you know the first for the ASMR bonus challenge, right? The first time I really, really struggled when I was trying to identify Petras just by the texture of the food and the way it sounded. I realized in that one that I was not going to succeed doing it that way. So what I did instead for the second one when it was Sable was I decided I would go in and read his behavior instead of trying to read the sound of the food, because it was all going to sound the same. And it sounded exactly the same to me as far as the texture goes. So what I did is I counted his chews and I read his like his chew time and when he chose to have water as well. I was like, okay, he would probably need water after the cereal and after the crackers, because those are the ones that are gonna get the tiniest and roughest, like coarsest crumbs. And he's also probably gonna stall a little bit on the pickle because he doesn't like vegetables and he doesn't like sour things. And that's how I ended up getting that one. I can be Santa Claus. And I got the right answer, even though it was a little bit less cool because everybody else got it too. But it didn't even matter because we still won. And you know, it was not about winning. I hope everybody knows that whenever I'm in a setting like that and I'm like, I need to win, please let me win. If you don't let me win, I'll cry. I need everybody to know unambiguously that that is always a joke and I do not actually care about winning at all. I'll do my best because I want to make my teammate proud, and I want to make everybody watching proud. But winning means virtually nothing to me, in truth. But it still felt really, really good. It felt really nice to have so much fun and to have a couple of cool moments where I carried a little bit. Though I think Zally was the real carry for that day, right? He just did so good. I said it then, and I'll say it again. I think Zally is just generally very, very good at a really big variety of things. And it's not even just that he's like magically talented or anything like that. I don't want to dismiss the effort that goes into it, right? He's a very hard worker. He's very, very he's very smart, very crafty, clever. So I was very, very happy that we were matched together for that one. Had a lot of fun playing together. What did I think of the prizes? I thought they were really sweet. I wish I would have taken a different approach for mine, but I guess in the end it didn't matter because I ended up collecting the prize anyway. Seeing how other people did it, I was like, oh man, wait, I should have grabbed something that like represents me more. You know, I could have grabbed like a monkey plush toy or something like that, you know? Or I could have found like Nintendo merchandise. I could have found like a Pokemon plushie within the budget for the prizes. How many do I have right now? I should not do this right now. But I was still satisfied to send the one that I sent. Ooh, we get a new reaction. Oh, you got the pens? I really recommend, in general, if you want a nice pen, I really recommend looking into... Oh, what is it called? I can't remember the exact name for it, but in Japan, because Japan has a particularly rich culture of you know, peer reviewing and improving the quality of stationery related paraphernalia. There's a contest that they run every year in Japan, and like all these specialists in the field and on the subject of stationery and writing and like planning and stuff, they all come together and they rank all the last year or two's worth of products. I recommend looking into that and ordering a product from either like the most recent one or like the one before. So when they asked me what I thought, what I wanted to contribute to the prize pile, I just was like, okay, here's a list of like 4 or 5 different pens that won this award for the Japanese stationery competition for the last 3 or 4 years in a row. Because I don't know. Growing up, I would never really get pens new. Pretty much never. I never ordered new pens. And if I did, it was like the super duper mass produced cheap kind of pens that would work for a little bit and then wouldn't really be very nice afterwards. And so when I got a nice pen, it was one that I came into randomly. You know, if I just happened to spy a pen that was left behind on the floor and I just started using it, or you know, maybe I borrowed one from a friend and never gave it back. And whenever I came into a good pen, like a really good pen, that was something I would cherish for a long time. There is nothing so sacred as a really good pen. So that's what I was thinking when they were like, all right, Kaelix, what do you want to contribute to the prize pile? I was trying to think of what would be useful, because it couldn't be food. You couldn't send food. It was safest to not do anything food related. So I was like, okay, what would be useful to virtually everybody ever? What is something people are always happy to have? And that's what I came to. I was like, okay, a nice pen or a set of nice pens would be pretty awesome. And I'm really happy that I ended up getting to collect them for myself, because I've actually been I've been using some poopy pens more recently. I had one particular nice pen that I was holding onto for a while, but it has exceeded its life expectancy and it is no longer in use. So I hope Zally likes them too. I don't know if he ever does any writing, but I figure even if you're not someone to like journal or write letters or anything like that, even if you don't do that, it's still a useful thing to have, isn't it? It's nice to have pens to do things like even just basic daily things like filing things. signing papers. It's a convenient thing to have. I think I'm gonna do these pants because I think the color matches really well. I could throw on some cowboy boots. Could be a moment for the antique boots. The palette's more consistent. Yeah, I was very happy, and I thought everybody else's prizes were really, really cute. Yeah, I'm excited to. I'm especially excited to play with the automaton or automaton. How's it pronounced again? How's it spelled? I've wanted to try out one of those for years, since I was like in school even, but I never got around to buying one, and I it's like I was always curious about it, but just not curious enough to commit to getting one. And this is the first time I've had one come from somebody else. Even if it's not technically a gift, I'm gonna mentally process all of these things as gifts. Gifts from everybody that participated in the event. And how does that one work? Are you familiar with the instrument? So for the automaton, the way it works is it's kind of like, how do I describe this? It's a synthetic instrument, so it's electronic, right? You don't actually blow into it or run anything against it to produce the sound. It's electronic. And you control the pitch in the same way that you would control the pitch on a bowed instrument like a violin or a cello, and that there are no frets. So you can you have all the microtones, like an infinite number of notes in between the regular scale to play with, which means that you can either get a very human sounding, like emotionally raw sounding tone and performance, or you can get something that sounds really, really, really goofy. And the gap there is just however experienced you are and however able you are to produce the exact pitch that you're looking for. So I'm very excited to finally try one of those. That being said, I loved every single thing in the prize pool. I'm excited to try one of those weighted plushies because I have issues with posture when I'm not careful. I'm excited to. I don't know if the sandal, like not sandals, the little shoes will be in my size, but I'm excited to try those on, or I guess maybe I could just have them as a little memento. You know, I'm excited to see everything. I'm very, very thankful that everybody was so thoughtful. And even if it's not something in the prize pool that I personally would use, it would still remind me of the liver that put it there, and that makes me happy to have. So I can be a bit sentimental with these things. I'm a little unsure about what kind of shoes I want to do, but I think this might be the nicest one after looking at everything, because then it creates this sort of gradient. This could round out the gradient. This looks nice, but it's not very winter snow friendly. The Apex one, well, it is of no particular use or interest to me. However, it reminds me of now multiple people in my life that really, really love it. So I'd be happy to hold on to it. Or, you know, if one of those people really wanted it, maybe I don't know. I'm not one to re-gift, so I might actually ask. But again, I guess it's not really a gift, it's a prize. So maybe I shouldn't go by the laws of gifts. But to me, it feels like a gift, you know? It feels like these came from the other livers that participated in the event. Maybe I'm overthinking it. No, I have to put it on a little pedestal under a light and plate glass so that nothing can ever damage it or mess it up. That's what I have to do. Sorry. Sorry, I was caught lacking. I'll be more considerate next time. I think I might do like this and round out the black boots with like the bag. And then if I need to, I could also do it with glasses of some kind. I've got quite a few black pairs of glasses, or I could do a mask. Sunglasses. Sunglasses are actually really good for winter, believe it or not. Do you know why? Pop quiz. Why are things like sunglasses good for winter? Because it's not necessarily, it's technically because of the sun, but it's not to protect yourself from the sun directly. It's actually indirect protection from the sun. Yes, it's because the sun reflects really, really, really brightly on snow. And if you spend a lot of time outside in a very snowy area without protection for your eyes, you can damage them due to that like the sheer brightness and paleness of the snow reflecting the sunlight. So if you live in an area with a lot of snow and you go out regularly, I recommend investing in a pair of sunglasses. It's actually kind of interesting. There are some indigenous cultures actually that live in more like polar areas, for example, areas like very far north that have a lot of snow, that have things that function very similarly to sunglasses before the actual invention of sunglasses. Did you know that? It's kind of interesting. Yeah, there are some like northern indigenous cultures that have something that predates the true sunglass as you know it, but it has the exact same purpose. It's rather than being a tinted glass that you look through, in order to protect their eyes, what they did is they would have something that covered the eye fully and then had a little carved slit down the middle to look through. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. They were ahead of their time. They were cooking with it before anybody even thought of the sunglasses. Yeah, you may have seen it, the eye mask thing with the very thin slit down the middle. The idea there is that it also, just like sunglasses, it limits the amount of light that comes through to your eyes, thereby protecting them from damage and harm. I think I might do these in the end. I tried a bunch of these, but I think this color is the nicest to match. I wore these not too many outfits ago, but I think it's fine. Yeah, they traditionally would make them with bones, I think, but it depends on which group maybe. I'm not actually sure. I'm not too certain. It's just something I had a brief phase of interest in, and I did some reading on it a few years back. So I vaguely remember it. I just always thought that was cool. I think it's always cool in general when people are like, "Oh yeah, this thing here was invented about 20 years ago." But in actuality, there are like cultures of people doing exactly the same thing hundreds and hundreds of years prior, just like ahead of that invention. You find a lot of things like that if you know where to look and what words to use. I kind of like the cap. It's kind of cute, right? It rounds out the palette a little bit more. So we have a bit of a gradient. It's not too rigid or consistent, but it's like pale towards the top, dark towards the bottom. Or I could round out the black and do this. I did one of those not too long ago though, so I'd be more keen on using like this, for example. Looks pretty cute. The student cap. Throw on a... No. I could be a cat. No. I'm a bit picky with these things. I think this is the way to go, right? It's gotta be. And I could throw in one of these or one of these maybe. We got a full outfit, I think. That's every possible item equipped. It always feels nice when you can assemble an outfit that has every single type of outfit piece, right? Sometimes to make a better looking outfit, it's better to omit certain things. For example, if you're doing like a dress, you don't need to wear pants. You can't wear pants if you're doing a dress item. Sometimes it's better to not have both things on the face for a certain look. But I think this is pretty cute. Snow makes the island magical. I do actually love the snow in this game when it's fully decorated. Like, if you want to see what makes me happy is when I've decorated a part of the island in the summertime, or the like spring or summer, or maybe even fall if I'm pushing it. And then I go back later and get to see how it's transformed a little bit. I love this. This makes me happy. My problem is that I don't love making this from scratch when it's winter. I find that my vision gets kind of, like in my brain, my mental vision of what I want it to look like, it gets a lot blurrier for some reason. Oh wait, I'll do that later. I'll do that when I've decorated a bit. It'd be smarter to go in with empty pockets. I did clear out my pockets a little bit in anticipation of this. So I have already picked up a little bit. I can go back later. But yeah. You like the tree lights? I think they're really pretty too. I do almost wish I could dedicate specific ones to have the lights, but I'm not going to complain. So, I've set out and crafted a number of things that I thought might look good. I don't have everything that I want for this area yet, but I have most of the things I want. That being said, the first thing we have to determine is exactly how we want to do the path. I know I agonized over a hat for a bit, but I do actually have to take this off and wear a hard cap for a bit instead. Very important to stay safe when you're dealing with dangerous things. I won't be doing any terraforming, actually. Probably not. Yeah, as you can see, I've replaced the paths. There is actually a middle one as well that gets changed with the winter, but I kept the original one for this one because it matches too. Anyway. So what we need is we need this here. No matter how the rest of the path looks. This here. And this here. This is our marker for where the symmetry ends. Because this is where Red will dock his boat whenever he shows up. In-game text is in Japanese. No, my in-game text is in English. It just happens that the creator that made this item, because this is a custom design that I did not make. It's by somebody that the player name is De, I think it stands for denim. They are a Japanese player. This is one of the most famous path sets in the entire game because it emulates the style of an older Animal Crossing game. Yeah. But I need this to be generally symmetrical, but not entirely symmetrical. I think we may have experimented together on this a little bit, but I didn't commit to anything. And I still don't know exactly how I want to make it look in the end. It could be as simple as just taking this kind of approach. Just winding it out a little bit. And then I could do one here. And then one here. Because I don't want it to be super uniform for the... like for this part. And then I could do... oh, yeah, I could do like this. Is my math right? And then one here. And then one more here. And then I just fill in the middle parts, maybe. The question, though, is does that look good with the stalls? And honestly, it might benefit me more to consider just, you know, exactly how the stalls are going to fit into all this. Like, over top of the paths. It might benefit me to actually put the path a little bit against the wall in a couple spots. Though I don't know for sure. It's like puzzle pieces. It really is. I do wish that the game would have a feature for natural pathways, just like in older Animal Crossing games, but I'm not going to complain. I do actually like the in-game path system that's more geometric, like these things. I just find that I use those more for blueprinting because I go for a more natural, rural type approach. We could experiment a little bit, though, to see what this will look like. I could put out one of the stalls that I made, crafted it myself. I'll put it right up against the wall like this. And there will be two on each cliff side. So ultimately, does that look good? Does it look better when the stall has a little bit of the grass in front of it? Or does it look better if the stall is a little over the dirt? Because if it looks better over the dirt, I could... Oh, I might make the dirt go all the way out to the edge. That might be better. What do you think? Let's try it. Let's see what it looks like. Let's try it and then make a commitment. Yeah, right? Considering foot traffic, it would make a bit more sense for the dirt to go under it a little bit. At least in a couple spots. Not what I meant to do. And I could do like so. Ooh, this could be a very interesting one that doesn't really show up often. Like this. You never see that. It's a very uncommon use of these patterns. Have this little splotch like this. But that's where it starts to really feel like OG Animal Crossing for a bit. Let's see. I can do the same thing over here, but just in a different spot to experiment. We'll do one here. And one here. And then we'll do this here. And you here. And then we fill it in. Oh, that's not the fill one. We fill it in just like the rest of it. And then by itself, this doesn't feel very natural, but in theory, just a game theory, if I put the stalls out as intended, maybe it will look a little bit more natural. Like so. Was it here? Yeah. Hold on. No, I'll commit to it being like this instead. Where are you? Here you are. But is this the way? Is the question. It's okay, but is it the way? Is what I want to know. It's not perfect. Could be better. One way to improve it could be actually to move this to the left a little bit. Though I like the consistent gaps between these, so maybe not like that. Grass and weeds, yes, we'll definitely do that. We do that in general around the dirt path. I just haven't done it in this part at all because this is very new. I didn't want to decorate that part without you, so I've just been gathering little pieces here and there whenever I relax off stream. But I haven't committed to any decorations. Thinking emoji. I think what I want to do is I want to experiment a little bit with this very atypical spot that we came to before. Do maybe like this instead. This makes an even more unusual pattern, actually. See that? That's pretty fun. This is where it starts to really feel like an older Animal Crossing game, which is my goal for this island. I want it to feel very deliberately designed and artificial, but I also want it to have certain spots that feel very Animal Crossing Wild World City Folk. Do you see my vision? I think I'll do something similar over here, actually. I'll do like this. And then we can do this here. All right, hold on. Pause this. We're gonna try a different approach. We're gonna make this wrap here and then reopen here. Create a slightly more diagonal feel. maybe. Like that. No, this needs to be here. And then this can go here. And then we'll need to round this out a little bit more as well. So what we can do instead, so we can do one of these here. And then switch this one out. Oh no, that's not gonna work. Oopsie. We'll find a way. There is a will. There is, in fact, a way. No. There is, in fact, a way. Thinking emoji. Oh, whoops. I see the vision very loosely, but I'm not fully committed to it. I'm not married to this idea because it doesn't connect in a way that feels as natural as this one. Honestly, what I may do is I may actually just fill this in like that and make the right side very simple, just full coverage. Like that. And then when we put the stalls back in, like this. Overlapping with the dirt. Now, does this look better than when there was a little grass in between? Oh, I don't know. I do not know. Maybe it'll look better when I fill it in with items as well. Among Us? It does look like Among Us. Hold on. Why this path kind of... Boom, boom, boom. I didn't even realize. It'll be our little secret, right? Okay. I wish I could know which stall is which when I'm putting them out. It did not have to be in any super specific orientation though. I just would prefer... I'd prefer this one to be somewhere in the back. Because it's a simpler pattern. Ergo, it stands out a little bit less. And we can do you over here. You notice anything about the colors? Yeah, that's on purpose. Just thought I'd confirm it for you. And then we can fill in the blanks a little bit. I got some paintings that are all fake. These are fake paintings. This is fake. Oh, and I think it's being haunted right now. Do you see that? Usually the fake painting has opened eyes. So this is not only fake, this one's also haunted. Awesome. And then, let's see. I can throw on, like... I can throw the statue. I think the statue looks better on the right than on the left, wherever it is, because then you can't tell it's fake. Because what makes this one fake is the earring on the left. So I could just kind of throw it in there, off to the side. I think caged bugs look really nice, so I kind of want to put the cricket front and center. Like that. So I'll do right here. Is it possible for me to get it right here on the other side? I think that's kind of cute. Either there or honestly, it might look better on this side. Can't see the bust? Yeah, but it's honestly meant to be more of a filler. I don't want everything to be super visible. Lamppost for this area? Honestly, I might. I haven't decided exactly how I'm gonna light it yet. There's so much to think about. I do have lampposts that I use in the... If you see on the map, that central area near the Resident Services Center. And I plan to use more in the more developed areas, but I kind of want this area to be a slightly different vibe. I want it to be super rural, almost abandoned looking. Okay, hold on. Is the spacing consistent on these? Oh, that was going to stress me out so bad if I didn't notice it. Okay, hold on. Close the gap by one more. Okay, that's much better. And then we'll put the Mystic statue back where it was. Is the cricket named? This can be Trudy the Fourth Esquire, and this one really loves haunted articles, haunted items, or perhaps just classical art. Since I got a cricket up front, I'll put a tarantula in the back. Somewhere easier to miss. Maybe this angle would look nicer. Okay, hold on. I want to make sure that it's angled the right way. One way to do that is to actually place it like this. You can experiment with the angle like that. So when I do it like that, it's facing this way. When I do it like this, it's facing... Okay, it's facing the front. I didn't even realize when I placed it the first time. So that's a good angle. You won't really see it unless you zoom in, but that's honestly what this is meant to be. I'm running out of things to put in here. I'll throw in a dolly over here. It's kind of cute. I thought this particular gyroid looked kind of like an artifact. So honestly, it might be better to put it like on the ground. I don't know. Oh, whoops. That's another fake painting. That one almost looks real though. The differences in that one are really subtle. I grabbed it thinking it was real. And then this one is also definitely a fake painting. I could do like this angle for it. I could throw in... Ugh, I'm running out of spaces to do all this stuff though, is the problem. I could put that one there, which makes room for this one. I could go here. It's a little tall. This one I grabbed as a decoration for this, but I didn't realize just how big it would be, so maybe it's better included elsewhere. Oh, you can see a man on the back. That's so scary. Some of the fake paintings are so spooky. Look at this. Oh, I don't like it. I'm kidding. I actually live for this. I love spooky things. I love haunted ghost vibes. This quaint painting is real, so it doesn't have a place there. So we don't have everything we need to fill these shelves yet. There might be more stuff in my storage, like at home, but we may have to call it for that area at that point. And then continue gathering furniture for it later. But we can continue into like weeds and maybe establish a plan for lighting. So I like to go section by section and make less mistakes that way. I kind of want to throw a skateboard over a path at some point in that area. I might save it for the town area instead, though. Paper tiger could be cute to throw into the market. I could put a little wooden music box out, maybe. Would be a cute thing to play in the area. Maybe somebody sells coffee beans. I don't know. You know what? We'll throw some coffee beans in there. Cardboard boxes. Ooh, that might actually be nice for like a black market area. All right. Let's put the coffee beans on this one because this one is the red one, which reminds me of somebody who likes coffee. And then let's see. I could put the music box here. So cute. And then do the paper tiger like so. And then what I was talking about with the skateboard is I could throw it just over a random path somewhere like this. And it's an obstruction that definitely gets in the way, right? Very annoying when you're walking, but it just looks nice. It makes the path feel a little bit more real, you know? It distracts a bit from the fact that this is entirely artificial and made of custom designs. Little things like this that obstruct the path a little bit. It makes it feel more like people are actually living in this place. And then we can throw in a weed here. Throw a weed here. Actually put one here instead. Much nicer. Then put some weed here. Put some weed up here. Feels nice, looking nice. Nice and clean. Maybe if I push this one forward, I can fit a weed up here as well. Can I plant these on the sand? I don't think so, right? I can. Oh, I can plant weeds on the sand. I forgot about that. That feels nice. Kind of starts a transition into the beach. All right, maybe there's a more fitting song. I kind of like that actually. For the black market. Kind of cool, right? Has a cool vibe. It's coming together. It's not fully there, but you see the vibe a little bit, right? And then imagine the aura as you're like coming up. You got forests on both sides, both inclines, left and right. You see a boat docked here on the right day if you come, you know, at the right time. It's got potential. It's not fully where we need it to be, but it's getting there, I think. I just wish I could put a weed in this little spot right here, but unfortunately these are all covered in patterns. This just gives the illusion of being uncovered. Yes! Thank you. Oh, so awesome. Thank you. I'm a wishful legend. First person view. I can show you, but I can't show you very well. It's gonna make me miss a star. Or a comet, actually. Shooting star. Because here's the thing. With first person view, you can use it, but you can't turn it left and right. You can get something like it, though. Another star. You can get something, though. I'm missing so many stars! Yeah, you can kind of get the experience of walking through yourself, right? Feels pretty cool. It'll look even better if I do deliberate decorations over the cliffs here, too. For example, something I'm thinking about with those, the cliffs on either side, is you may remember there's an item we crafted that I have. Oh, hello cat people. I have it sitting over the cliffside here by the entrance. You see that? This right here. I could strategically place those in a way that looks nice, giving a little bit of Spirited Away. That's kind of the vibe I want. Ooh, that reminds me of a question that I wanted to ask you. I saw a TikTok that asked this question, and then I've been waiting for the chance to ask you the same question. So here's a question for you, all right? I've got a personality question. If you could eat any food, real or imaginary, what would the food be? Your answer will tell me something about who you are. All right? If you say something like steak or, you know, lasagna, that's not the kind of answer I want to hear, but I won't judge you. Minecraft cake. Okay, see, we're talking. That is a good answer. Danjon meshi food. Excellent answer. These are the kind of answers I want to see. I asked because when I thought about it, what I came to was the feast from Spirited Away. I really want to have the feast from Spirited Away that turns you into a swine. I always wanted to eat that so bad when I was a kid. Think from Teletubbies. Oh, like the Pepto-Bismol that they eat. Or sorry, what'd they call it? Yeah, I know that technically the feast from Spirited Away is literally just actual food. Like they're just eating chicken and pork and stuff. They're just eating actual foods that you could have at the right place if you know where to shop for the food. But I just want it. I want that one. I want that one specifically. Ancient fruit from Stardew Valley. That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good. I see your ancient fruit and I raise you sweet gem berry. I want to eat sweet gem berry or star drop from the same game. What does it say about the personality? Nothing good or bad. It just will tell me it'll tell me a couple things. There's a type of personality that you can have where you will answer very literally. You'll just, you know, you'll just name a food that already exists that you could have any day. You know, there are people that will hear that question and will answer with something like, you know, 3-layer mac and cheese. They could make that at any time. And then for the people that answer in a more, you know, adventurous way, that will also tell me something. Because if you're saying something like, I want to try this really tasty food that is not actually real. That's one thing. if you have a transformative, imaginative answer, but it's like, I want to try the gravel from this character's driveway in this show. That's another personality. You know what I mean? Things like that. So I did collect some items. I think I want to get a second one for this, actually, looking at this like here. I think this might look nice if I put it on either side. Like here. Oh wait, I need to back up a little bit. The trouble is going to be getting this specific fake statue. Like, not just getting it and donating the real one, but also getting another fake one to put right here. That could be nice. You thought about something that's not safe for consumption? Then you fall into what I'd call that other category. The last one that I mentioned. There might be secret other categories that I haven't considered, but when I looked through the replies of people answering that question that person asked, those were the 3 categories that I found. There were people that were like, yeah, I'd go for this restaurant. I'd love this restaurant's food. And then I think for this I'll do just like that. You see the vibe? If I could back it up a little bit. And maybe... Alright, I know I just put it away, but we're gonna pull this out again. If the foods already exist but are too complicated to make, would it be a different type? I guess rather than an entirely distinct 4th type, it would kind of be like a subtype of the first one, right? Because even if you couldn't make it, if it's a real food, then somebody could make it, right? You could go somewhere to get it. Or to someone to get it. But it's still a little bit reasonable because it's harder, right? I get that. That's reasonable. Yeah, I see the vibe. I got your number. Okay. I think if I do the fountain like that, it might be cute if I put a little mini path here, like so. See what I'm saying? Do you know what I am saying? And I can fill it in right here. Here's another of my answers that puts me into the... Yeah, I think I saw somebody say this one. Puts me into the 3rd category because I agree with this. Rock roast from Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild. I want to try rock roast. The meaty looking rocks that Gorons eat. I want to eat that really bad. And I'll never be able to. It'll never exist. Because not only is it not real, it's like igneous rock. It's not good for you. It's dangerous. So, that's another one of mine. I think I'll do this a little differently over here. I think I'll do it like this. Bing, 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 bing. Oh, whoops. Yeah, Link does eat some in Age of Calamity in one cutscene, and it's really funny. They're like, yeah, chow down, brother. He's like, don't mind if I do. That cutscene was actually the one that made me start thinking, I want to try this. It looked really good when he ate it. So I think most of his eating was off screen. So. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Leave just tiny little patches of grass poking out, but not in it like a consistent layer on the outside. Could be nice for the fountain. Have tiny little pieces around. That feels kind of old Animal Crossing. I'm not a big fan of using this path when it has a really large patch like this, though, personally. Hmm. Oh no, I did not know. I also grabbed this. I don't know exactly where I want this to go, but I thought it would be cute to have one of these in the general vicinity of the museum. Stone path could be nice. I might do one too. If there's any place to do one, it's here at the museum. Because it's such an elegant, regal looking place, right? And if I did that, I could combine it with stone, like not stone pads. I could combine it with fences, like the stone iron fence. The little picket looking, not picket, but the little pointed gothic looking fence could be nice for this, I think. I don't know. I don't know if it's the vibe. Ah, docio. We don't have enough items to decorate either one right now, either way, so we can just keep this here as a temporary one. This maybe instead. Just have a general idea. Give some sense of direction. You may notice this. It breaks my immersion, and I wish it didn't happen, but what can you do? The reason I don't like when the path, like custom paths like these, are used in really big splotches like this is because on rare random occasions, you'll get a little break. You can see a little crack in the design where it'll be like a straight line where the path isn't connected anymore. And it becomes super noticeable the more dirt it covers. So I try to keep rather than doing a really big one like this, I try to do small disconnected ones like this. Because I find that it's less noticeable when you do it that way. Combine the dirt and stone. Technically you can, it just takes more designs. And I think the person that made this one did actually make designs where you can fuse the dirt into a stone path. And they also made some that are literally just the stone. But I just like the way their dirt one looks the most. Because for the museum, it would look very nice to have, for example, this one. Just in a straight line, very symmetrical pattern. We have the symmetrical stairs set up here to make that work. I'll have to experiment with that when we have more items, I think. Was yesterday your birthday? Happy belated birthday. Hope you had a nice day. Yeah, I don't know. There's so much to consider. It's very difficult. Glowing moss. I do have a bunch of that, actually. In fact, I've kind of wanted to pull that out recently. I love Animal City. It's my favorite song in this game that KK Slider can sing because it's from City Folk. That was the first Animal Crossing game that I played, I think, and the first one I got really into too. So very nostalgic, very Natukasi. Let me see. I think I have a bunch of glowing moss that I collected and just held on to. Let's see if we can find a place for it. Let's lock in. Speaking of glowing moss, one place where you can get it really consistently is the DLC for Happy Home Designer. there's an area in that part of the game where you can collect this like crazy. And I mention it because I've wondered if I should start that at some point soon, and if I want to do it completely on stream or partially on stream or on stream at all. Because doing that DLC is a pretty decent source of both income and also specific like furniture items that I really want to use. So I'd benefit from grabbing it at some point. I think what I may do for the glowing moss is make a deep area of the forest that is completely removed from civilization. And use a lot of it there. Yeah, I need to figure out a plan for the Happy Home DLC and how we're going to do that. Like whether I'll include that part in my streams, or I could be like, I think I've seen other livers, like I think Uki did this. They called it speed running, where you just go through and you just do the bare minimum for the requests so that you can get the items. I can't do that though. I kind of need it to look nice. Let's see. Where else do we need to go? Let me go closer to the music box while we're gonna do that. Map is coming together though. Do you see the vision? I did a little bit of terraforming off stream too. Just closed it in a little bit more. You can kind of see how it's taking shape as we play each time. You'd like to see any game where I pick fashion out or design stuff? We could do some of that. I just can't decide exactly how much of it I want to do together, because it can be a bit slow. Hey, stop! That's what I thought. I don't think so. This is in a really challenging place though. Due to all these trees. It's kind of difficult to get the snowballs big without touching the trees and breaking them. Or knocking them off the cliffside. Let's make a perfect snow boy for now. Do you know the strategy to making a perfect snow boy? It's a bit easier if you actually have paths on the ground like we have down there. Because if you run the snowball over a path, it actually thins it out a little bit. So you can perfect the size as you go. Don't you wish we could just do it like this? Give him the tiniest little head ever. Scary. Clean that up just a little bit. I have a little spot for the perfect snow boy. And I should be clear, I'm being super overconfident calling him a perfect snow boy when he hasn't even been made yet. I botch it sometimes. I've got it down to something of a science though. Hold on. Not quite. Not getting too close. Still not quite there, but almost. Almost. Still not quite. One more, I think. Okay, I think this is him. Pinkies crossed. No, it's off. Yeah, I knew it the moment it was on top. The head is a little too big. It's pretty tough to get the perfect one. Well, I guess we just got this botched snow boy. That's what I get for being so confident. Yeah, the strat to make a perfect snow boy is to have a very large base, like this one. It's melting a little bit because I made this one yesterday. So it's melting into the ground, but you have a very large base, and then the head needs to be slightly smaller, noticeably smaller. Still large for the head, but not as large. Still cute anyway, yeah, that's true. Kind of looks menacing when you look at him through the trees. ちょっと怖いだよな。スノーボーイ。怖っ。Can you hear him? Can you hear his voice? Be like, いないで。you can't see me. 怖っ、怖っ。It's scary, right? ねえ、行かないで。怖っ。怖い怖い怖い。Let's see. Maybe we could start forming a plan for some of these areas too. I'm still holding out hope that I'll get more blue hydrangeas. I've checked Leaf's shop so many times and he never has any. Let's go to Harvey's Island. We haven't been there yet today, have we? Oh, I'm so excited to terraform the bottom left portion of the island, the southwestern corner. It'll be so pretty. That's the part I'm most excited to decorate, I think. Because that's where I really get into that like rural town vibe. I think is where I'll do it. Help with any timers? Honestly, today I'm probably going to wrap before we get to the point where I absolutely have to go, but it would be helpful if you could remind me. I need to remember for sure about an hour from now. At the 8:30 mark EST is when I have to remember. That would be really helpful to me. Yeah, when the clock up there on the top left reads 20:30. If you could remind me then. I didn't set any alarms because I knew you would ask. That would be helpful to me. I'm going more by vibes today, though. It could be that we'll wrap before we get there. I gotta be a little bit careful about my voice. I do want to hang out as much as I can with you for the rest of December, though. I want to give you as much of my time as I can. I'll tell you why now. Just kind of ease you into it for when the day does come. Okay, this guy is fake. Do you know why? Do you see what's fake about this guy? Sorry, this is a distraction than what I was talking about. He's got a book in his arm, so that makes him fake. The real one doesn't have that, I think. Anyway, as I was mentioning, I want to give you as much of my time as I can, specifically because I think I'm going to plan a vacation in January. It'll be kind of like, in practice, it'll be kind of like the trip I took to get my PC back in the summer. So it'll be a full week where I'm away from home. I'll still stream, probably, but it'll be limited streaming. And the reason I want to plan it then is because I'm trying to plan the next few months of my schedule out in advance. And it looks like near the end of January, for a span of about a week and a half to 2 weeks, I will be super busy with off-stream stuff. And I want to be able to give my all to that so that I can do a good job. So my thinking is that if we can have as much fun as we can for the rest of December, and then I can get a little bit of rest in the beginning of January, I'll be ready to fully lock in on that and then feel normal about it without feeling like super exhausted. You know what I mean? That's my line of thinking. I cannot remember what color the real one is, because I think what makes this fake is the color. I think this looks real. It has the color I remember. Or maybe it has extra features. Yeah, I'll be taking a week-long vacation in early January. My thinking is that we will celebrate New Year's, come together to figure out some resolutions and reflect on the last year a little bit. and then have a few days post New Year's, and then on the week of the 4th is what I'm thinking. I haven't locked it in yet, and I haven't booked the flight, but I'm thinking the week of the 4th I'll be away. Ah, the real one doesn't have a lid. That's right. I knew the color was right. It looked exactly like I remembered, but just slightly off visually. But yeah, so I will be away for a week in January. So to kind of make up for that, I'm hoping we can spend a ton of time together this month. Because even when I'm back from my vacation in January, like I said, I'll have some work to do. So, yeah, you don't have to like doom or be sad about it. I just tell you now so you can kind of know ahead of time. I'll remind you when it becomes relevant. Yeah. I don't want it to come as a like a crazy shock when January rolls around and I'm like, all right, I'll be gone for this week. But like I said, just like when I traveled in the summer to get my PC and to hang out with my friend who made it for me, I'm thinking that I will probably be able to stream just like then. It's just that those streams will be a little spaced out and they'll be super simple. It'll be like entirely chat focused rather than gaming streams probably. And in that case, rather than borrowing a PC, I'll actually be using a laptop, a travel laptop set, I'm thinking. Yeah. I'm just trying, in general, recently, I'm trying to take rest a bit more seriously these last couple months. I had a couple of wake-up calls throughout the summer and parts of fall where I realized that I was pushing myself a bit too far at times. So my thinking is that if I rest ahead of the big work, I'll be able to take it on with my head held pretty high. That's my theory. And it would also be a way to kind of decompress after the last year as well, 2025. I'm not one to get too hung up on calendar years and thinking about it in broken sections like that, but I've been trying to get into the habit of that for the last couple of years. I'm trying to be a bit less skeptical and cynical about those things. I do not like this sound at all. You can stay. But yeah. Who's this diva? I know exactly who she is. I miss when she had an observatory. Not gonna travel for Christmas. Thankfully, I do not have to travel for Christmas just because I am still living with family right now. There will come times in the future, very realistically, where I will have to travel for Christmas in the future because I am planning to move very far away from home. Probably before this time next year, but it's not locked in just yet. Yeah, I won't be traveling for Christmas. My hope is to travel to see a couple friends. I have some friends that live in the same area. It's an area I've wanted to visit for a while anyway, so I've wanted to see these friends. We haven't met yet. I'm very excited for that. Yeah. So, looking forward to that. And doing so may just enable me to show you something a little special too, but no promises for that. That is still to be determined. So even if I will be away in the traditional sense, it will not be an empty week when the time comes. Yeah. You don't have to think about it or anything. I'm just telling you now, so it's not a crazy surprise. I will remind you, like I mentioned, I'll remind you later when it becomes relevant. Thought I was gonna move out. Not this time. Not this time. Not this soon. It's a little too soon for me. I definitely will though. And I'm thinking now about the logistics of that actually. Like planning for it and I got too nervous. Planning for it and considering what I need to, what I need to do, doing the early preparations of, figuring out what I need to bring, how I'm gonna deal with bringing everything, what I leave behind, when it all happens. Will my stream schedule change once I move? That is something I cannot faithfully tell you until the time comes, but I personally want to commit to exactly what I'm doing right now. And I want to think that moving should actually make it easier for me because naturally speaking, I'm normally a morning person. Okay, sorry. That was a bit dramatic. Normally speaking, I am very much a morning person. In my natural resting state where I'm not changing anything for others or for work, like friends, business opportunities, I wake up early and I go to bed early. So in the event that I move to Japan, like a lot of other livers have, I would be able to stream at this time, but also wake up early. I find that streaming at this time kind of reinforces, alongside the people that I hang out with, right? This combination of thing reinforces a bedtime that is very late at night for me. So I'm constantly flipping between my natural state of being a morning person and my work influence state of being a night owl. So one of my hopes, again, hopes, not guarantees and not promises, just to set a clear expectation. One of my hopes is that being there in a completely different time zone will enable me to have my cake and eat it too, as they say. So I hope and expect to keep exactly the same slot that I have now. But I won't know for sure until the day comes that I'm living it, you know? And that's a very distant bridge to cross. It's not anytime soon. It'll be a long while till we talk about that more seriously and until I give any definitive answers for it. But I guess I could also, you know, just let you know now, because it is like an eventuality, not if but when. There's a lot of meteors tonight. What time do I usually wake up? Right now, I'm in a very weird gray area. I'm waking up really early, like I like to, around 8 in the morning. 7 or 8 in the morning most days. But I also have to take a nap around the middle of the day from like noon, 1 p.m.-ish through 4 p.m. most days. 5 p.m. some days. To get a full amount. Just because this work always has me going to bed really late. And that is something I do kind of hope for when it comes to such a big move that would have me changing time zones. Yeah, I personally, while I like the bulk of my motivations for this big move are work related, I don't want it to be an inconvenience to you, you know? I've already committed to this time slot, so I personally don't think it would make very much sense to change it. So I would only change it if I had no other choice, like if I just could not commit to it. But I think I could, because like I said, in the past, you know, when I was working as a model, when I didn't have this specific routine that I'm adapting to this year, I was always a good morning person. When I was still a student, I was waking up earlier than all my peers because my school was further away than normal. I was waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning where all my peers would be waking up at 7 because I had to travel an hour and a half to 2 hours away from home. So I believe just based on my experiences that I could commit to it. But again, I cannot guarantee and I cannot promise it yet. I don't want to disappoint you by saying it's what's going to happen and then it doesn't happen, you know? And once again, it will be a long time till this is even relevant, so. Yeah, my hope is that the day will come and then I can wake up early in the morning, live my healthy, joyful life, and also stream at this hour. So the streams would actually be morning streams for me instead of night streams in that setting. And ironically enough, oh come on, I got nervous. Ironically enough, even though I'm always streaming in the evening and night, I think I do actually function better as a morning streamer, in air quotes, because oftentimes I'm actually waking up just an hour or 2 or 3 before a stream starts. Yeah. So if I woke up at 7 a.m. JST, depending on daylight savings, That's where it would get a little weird, is daylight savings. That's where my time slot might shift by like an hour. Once I've committed to something post Japan move, when the day comes that I can do that. My theory is that if I wake up at 7 a.m. JST, I have my morning routine. You know, I shower, I take a quick walk outside, make breakfast, I eat. A couple hours pass and I start streaming at like 9 a.m. That's 7 p.m. here in the States EST. Afternoon? Afternoon streams, probably not often, because that would be the same as if right now I started streaming at like 1 a.m. EST, which is just not something I do. I do stream at 1 a.m. EST if a stream runs on for that long. But generally speaking, I try to start at the same time, just as a, you know, as a rule of courtesy and consistency. It's what made the most sense for me at the start. So even when it starts to shift and change a little bit, I really want to prioritize your experience. I do try to give a little variety here and there for certain kinds of streams, you know, things that you don't necessarily have to be there for live, for example. But yeah, I would just feel guilty otherwise. I hope that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. That being said, you could see more like flipped hour streams. Like how sometimes I'll do a morning gorilla in EST, which would be late evening, nighttime JST. It is very, very easy to do a late evening stream if I did one in the morning. So if I'm consistently doing the morning anyway, you might see double stream days a bit more often. But again, like I said before, it's impossible for me to really know any of this until I'm there experiencing it. Hindsight is always 20/20, and I can't really exercise accurate foresight here. I had already donated the quaint painting, hadn't I? Let's find out. I forgot to check. But yeah, that's the TLDR on that stuff. I did not mean to talk about it for that long. Again, we'll go over all these things in more detail when the time comes. Live with a roommate? I'm living alone. I'm not built for roommates. I'm sorry. I cannot do that. I'll be living on my own. Thank you. I can't do it. I cannot live with a roommate. I will never see the day. I have some problems that will make me too incompatible with a roommate. I've had some experiences. I've had some learning experiences through just, you know, living with my family, living with my siblings, and taking care of my siblings. To some extent, raising my siblings, cleaning things up, cooking. I cannot handle like a human adult my age or older or younger making the same mistakes as a younger sibling would. If I walk into the kitchen and there is a single dirty dish left in the sink, I'm going to build a weapon. I'm not actually going to do that. That's an exaggeration. But you know what I mean? Like, I would be very, very upset. And I would not be able to deal with that in a mature way. Being in that setting would really, really challenge my famous patience and kindness. And I would become a very bitter, annoying person. It is a very big benefit on things like covering rent to have a roommate, but I personally would just rather live in a very modest place on my own and you know, compromise on the quality of the living a little bit if I need to make that work. But I should be fine. But you know, I can't. I need to be on my own. I cannot trust other people to be absolutely 1000% perfect and follow my exact life routine. Because I mentioned the dishes as a specific example, but that would also include just like the way that food is stored and the sanctity of like, if I get this food, it is for me to have and I'll share it, but only if you ask for it. I will say yes every time, but you have to outright ask if you can have it, and then I will say yes, and then you can have it. You can't just take it and then apologize later. And then like laundry, it has to be done in a very specific way on a very specific schedule. You have to like follow the tags. The tags tell you how to best take care of the laundry so that you don't damage it over a series of washes. You shouldn't be mixing laundry together for multiple people unless it's something you've agreed on and unless the laundry goes with the other pieces that you're putting in there. There are so many things that I've adapted into ritual for my life that I just realistically cannot expect other people to match. I would get so stressed if I had a roommate that I was expecting to commit to all this stuff. So, you know, I am not ready to live with a roommate, and I personally do not want to. Ever. Would not like it at all. I'll be on my own. However, I would love to live nearby friends. That's something I'm hoping. I'm hoping that I can land a place that is within walking distance at least of like some other libraries, for example. That would be very nice. Because that way I can have like the fun experience without the living nightmare of a roommate or a housemate, you know? I don't know if that's too immature of me, but that's just where I stand. I understand now why I don't want to get married or have kids. I mean, hey, I could change, and I admit that. People change, and I'm still very young. And I'll yield that you know, the way I am now might not last forever. There may come a day that I become future Kaelix, and suddenly I realize that everything I believed was wrong, and I actually want a different life, you know? People change. Maybe one day I'll hit my 30s, my 40s, and I'll feel very different about it. Maybe I'll feel lonely. Maybe I'll have a more neutral outlook at least. I don't know. Maybe I'll never change. I wouldn't mind that either. I personally would be so content to just be exactly the way I am forever. That'd be fine too, but nothing and nobody really stays exactly the same forever. So I try to be open to that. But for now, it personally would not make very much sense with my fantasy. You know, my fantasy of adult life is very like, I love the bachelor lifestyle. I love it so much, and I'm really looking forward to being able to fully embrace it. You know, I love my family. I love living with my family. I love looking after people. I love like the familiarity of this environment that I grew up in. It's always safe. It's always, you know, comfy. But I also really like the idea of being 1000% in control of everything in my world. I don't know if that's like too personal to share, but yeah, I can be a bit of in my own life, I can be a bit of a control freak. And I love having as much control over my life as I can get. It makes me feel secure to be in control. Pets? Maybe. I could have a pet. I love animals. I love cats. I still don't know if I would, because every pet that I've had, including the pet that I take care of now, it's never necessarily been quote-unquote my pet, to tell you the truth. It's always been pets that a sibling took in that I would take on some responsibility for. And I never mind to, because I love these pets, and I love having them around the house. And I don't mind the chore of periodically helping a little bit. Or helping a lot in some cases. But I've never gone out of my way to seek out my own pet, I think. Except maybe once when I was little, like really, really little or something that I don't really remember. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I think pets can be nice to make a space feel less lonely. I could have a little cat, maybe. I love cats. Or I could grab 2 cats. It's nice to have 2 cats, otherwise they can get lonely and they can have behavioral issues. Fun trivia. Especially if you get them as a kitten. If you get a cat when it's really, really young, you gotta get a second one. Or at least raise it around a second one for a while. Like if you have a friend with one of the same age. Keep them together while they're little. Otherwise, they have serious behavioral issues. I want to do a different song. I love Animal City, but I kind of want to do... Let's see, maybe... Yeah, maybe KK Bossa is a good one. I really like these 2 new ones for this game. I love this cover in particular. I want to wear his outfit in this one. KK Bashment. I want to dress like this. That's so me. 2 dogs? I don't know about that. I think I've talked about this. I love dogs. But I don't love living with dogs very much. Like, I love seeing dogs. I love when I have a friend or a relative who has a dog. But I find that the energy of keeping a dog and taking care of a dog, it's a little bit more energy than I have to spare after I've taken care of myself for the day. You know, I've always described it as like a battery type of measurement. I measure my daily energy as a battery. And every little task that I do, big or small, every single task has a very specific set amount of energy that it takes away after I've done it. I find that when I've gotten through my day, most days I've got almost no energy left or exactly 0 energy left. Cats are very friendly with that. They are still high commitment animals, just to be clear. There's a misconception that cats are super easy and that you can just let them on their own and it's fine, but you do still have to actively take care of them. But I find that the type of care that cats take is a bit gentler on my battery than a dog. You know, dogs, you often have to play really actively with them. They need walks. They need that kind of stimulation. It's very important for their health, for their mental well-being as well. Say goodbye to decorations with cats. No, you only have to say goodbye to your decorations with poorly trained cats, is my theory. I've only had that issue a couple of times and we were able to correct it. So there's theory to it and it takes time, but Christmas decorations especially can be pretty difficult. Christmas decorations are pretty tedious because they see all these flashy little baubles and they want to pull them all off, but even then, you can train them. Cats do respond just as well to it. Or I guess maybe not exactly as well as dogs, but they do still respond well to training. Yeah, gotta keep it off the bottom where they can reach it. That makes sense in general, but like most animals, just keep the things they shouldn't touch out of their reach. Yeah, it could be nice. Oh my gosh, Zyogin Joka is online. All right, what should we say? This is such a deep cut. No, it isn't. Yes, it absolutely is. That is so ancient. That is one of the oldest things I know, unironically. That is one of the oldest things I can think of that I've personally witnessed. Important subnote there, that I personally witnessed, because I was kind of raised on older media as well. A lot of my favorite films predate my existence. I love a lot of films from the 80s, 90s. A lot of stuff from the early 2000s. I even like some things from the 60s and 70s, actually. It is so old. It is so old. Come on now. Let's be reasonable. Let's be reasonable now. 12 years old? Oh, man. That is old. That is, okay. If a baby was born the day that man said, "What the fox say?" If a baby was born that day, that baby would now be in 6th grade United States schooling. 6th grade. Maybe 7th grade, depending on when they start and when their birthday is in the year. 6th grade. That is a human child that is thinking independently, forming unique and convoluted opinions, having rigid, like fixed or designated interests, forming social bonds. Maybe they've had a boyfriend or girlfriend at that point. That is a human being of time. That is old. That is so much time. That is insane. It's old, okay? You just need to accept the truth. It's not my fault, okay? Don't shoot the messenger. It's old, okay? It's old. It's just old. I don't make the rules. It's not my fault. It's old. Okay? Oh my goodness. Holy moly. You're with me, it's ancient? Alright, I know that's right. Calling you a hag? No, I'm not calling you old. Because, you know, I lived to see that. I lived to experience and witness what the fox say. I know about it. I lived it. That would make me old. I'm just saying that as an idea, as a joke, as a meme, it is ancient, you know? By general standards, no. By general worldly standards or human standards, it's pretty recent. You know, it's newer than the Copper Age, the Bronze Age, things like that. It's newer than the Tyrannosaurus Rex. It's newer than the invention of the light bulb, and then the second claimed invention of the light bulb. It's newer than those things. But as far as the age of the internet and of memes go, it's ancient, like Paleolithic, super old. Like if we made memes from the internet run parallel to the history of film and television, What the Fox Say would be in sepia. It would be grayscale almost. It'd be old. As old. Nyan cat. Oh. That's beyond Paleolithic. That's primordial. That is a primordial meme. Nyan cat. Wait, how far apart were those? This is where you're going to start to lose me a little bit. That's a really old one, right? Nyan cat is old? Okay, how old? When was she popular? When was she born? 2011? Alright, and when was What the Fox Say? One more time, when was What the Fox Say? Nyan cat was 2011. When was What the Fox Say? Please tell me. When was that song released? The Secret of the Fox, an Ancient Mystery. Hiding in the Woods. 2013. So that's a gap of 2 years. So you're going to tell me that Nyan cat is old, but What the Fox Say is not old. But there's a gap of only 2 years. The 2 years matter? No, they don't. Not that much. Those 2 years are pulling a lot of weight here, all right? Let's be realistic. Let's be reasonable. They're both old? Exactly. That's how I feel. They're both old. One is a lot older to me, but... Think of how much you can mature in 2 years? Yes. That is... Okay, I'll grant you this. What the Fox Say is no longer Paleolithic. It is Neolithic. Nyan cat is Paleolithic. Small gap, but still notably one is older than the other. Yeah, okay. You can have that. I'm going to plant these here. Just for now. Just give them a place to be. Vines. They are just post-Neolithic, I think. Were they at the same time? Or were they after What the Fox Say? My memory of this period is very fuzzy, to tell you the truth. I do not remember very well. Vine died in 2014. Oh, okay, so post-Neolithic. So I was on point. I got it. I still got it. Vines are not that old. They're kind of old though. They're kind of old. That's still a very sizable gap of time. They're timeless. But they really, I think, here's the thing. They start to feel old when you pull out one of the super viral mainstream vines, is the problem. Like when you pull out in the middle of conversation, like a road work ahead, yeah, I sure hope it does. Ancient. Dust is flying out of my mouth, just quoting that one. That's old. Adam. That's old. These things are old. MySpace, I don't even know about that. All I know about MySpace is that I've heard online that people had, I've read that people have or had friendship ranking on MySpace. Is that a thing? Did you ever use MySpace? Can you vouch for this? And can you tell me more about it, please? Because I've been wanting to ask people, but everybody I ask either did not know about it or had a very vague memory of it. Did you ever participate or witness somebody participating in friendship ranking on MySpace? Because I think that's the funniest idea ever, and I think we should bring it back. Are you familiar with the idea? So here's the idea. When I mentioned friendship ranking, the idea, I think on MySpace you had a bio, just like on other social media that you have now today, like Twitter, stuff like that. And in your bio on MySpace, people would include a little section that was like, my friends, number 1. I'm just gonna list these 3 in debut order. So just so you know, I'm not actually ranking them right now in this example. Debut order, but in this example, it would be like, my friends, number 1, Sable. Number 2, Friodor. Number 3, Zealgin Joka. And then, you know, if Zeal did something really nice, you know, if he did me a little favor, or if he brought me a dessert that I really like, or if he was like, hey, Kaelix, I decided to order some donuts, but then I realized I shouldn't have these. Do you want them? That's when I have to take the favor into account. So I edit my bio, and I go in and write, number 1, Sable. Number 2, Zealgin Joka. Number 3, Frio. And then Frio notices it, and he has to, like, do a favor for me to get back to his number 2 spot and maybe aspire to number 1, you know? Is that how that actually worked? Can you vouch for this? Because this is how it's been explained to me. I think that is the funniest thing in the world, if that's how that actually happened. And I cannot believe that ever was okay. Like, how were people okay with that? Is that a yes? Is that how that worked? Oh my god. That is the funniest thing in the world. Thank you for confirming. I've been curious about that for a while now. I just think that is so goofy. Why would you do that? That is going to cause so much drama and jealousy. And it's also such a superficial thing to do. I'm trying to see if there's anything in here that I could put out in the market. But yeah, I just was not that wild. It sounds pretty wild. Imagine if we were doing that today. Like, imagine you're on Discord, all right? And you join a server and you become good friends with this guy on Discord. Or, okay, reframing it actually. You have a school friend. This guy is your friend at school. You know each other really well. You hang out during lunch every day. You love this guy. You consider him to be one of your best friends. He's one of your closest friends. And then you realize that you guys spend all your time hanging out in real life, and that's enough for you, but you never exchange socials. So you trade Discords with this guy. You finally get his Discord. Excuse me. I had to clear my throat there for a second. You finally get this guy's Discord. And you open his bio. And you see your name written there, but you're number 7. Number 7. Oh my god. My throat is dying! The example really got to me. I'm gonna have some water. Do you want some? I just really wanted to get through the example. I wanted to get through the demonstration. Now there's tears running down my face. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have another sip. You're good? Oh my gosh. That was a bad one. Need it more than you. No, it's not even that I'm dehydrated. I'm actually very careful about that recently. I'm careful about it in general, but even more recently than usual. It's just that sometimes my throat gets kind of stuck. It just happens sometimes. What's really bad is when that happens in class or like in a public area. Like say you're in like a waiting room at the doctor's office, or like I don't know, maybe you're in like a really quiet space like the library. That's always really awkward. This is kind of like that times 100 billion. Because it's like, I'm in a position right now, it's kind of the same awkwardness of being in a quiet space like that, where everybody can hear it happening. But in this case, it's like, you're actively paying attention to me, right? So it's a little scary. Yeah, it's so awkward. But yeah. Imagine you got this guy, you're close friends. You finally get his social media. All right, I'm going to change it. First off, imagine that you're number 7 on his friendship ranking. He's got all his friends written out, and you're number 7, dead last. Imagine this, all right? Alternative scenario. Once again, you consider this guy to be your one of your closest friends. You hang out all the time. You do favors for each other. You study together. You eat together. You hang out outside of school, outside of work, however you met this guy. You finally get his social media, and your name isn't even listed. And he's got like 10, 15 people on there, and you're not on there. Could you imagine how that would feel? I feel like that entire concept just sets people up to be jealous of each other and to be mad at each other. Heartbroken? I would be too. Like me more. I don't know. Is that unreasonable of me? Is that childish? I don't know. Yeah, I do not think the MySpace friendship ranking idea would fly in modern society. Take it as a challenge. That is exactly what it would be for me, though, because I kind of take... I treat friendship very much like a game in certain ways. I gotta be careful to intellectualize this in an accurate way so you don't think I'm scary or anything. But when I love getting to know people, right? I love hanging out with people. I love figuring out what people like. I love doing my best to remember and keep track of what people like so that I can be a good gift giver. I love this stuff. I love it a lot. And as I'm doing it, as I'm, going through this process of making a new friend and learning things about them, I treat it very much like a video game. I imagine when I give them something they like, or when I say something that they like, when we have a positive interaction, I physically in my brain imagine, I guess not physically, but mentally, I imagine friendship points going up. I imagine a gauge describing just how much they like me, and it's filling up. It's getting closer to full. And whenever we have a really deep conversation, I imagine that as like a heart event. I just lost the game. Anyway, yeah, kind of like games like Stardew. The muse for me is very much pre-Stardew. One of Stardew's big inspirations was a specific Harvest Moon game, which is now Story of Seasons. The franchise is called Story of Seasons now. But yeah, Story of Seasons kind of vibe. Hey, it's not my fault. Don't shoot the messenger. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I just lost the game. Anyway, I treat it very much like a video game. And so, if I were in a society that actively used friendship rankings, I would see my place in a person's life hierarchy written out like that, and I would treat it like a game, just like I treat actual friendship as a game. Like, obviously, friendship is very real and very important to me. It's not just some trivial game to me. It is a very meaningful connection to spend time and get to know another person. However, I would get very competitive seeing it formatted as a number 1, number 2, number 3 Kaelix kind of vibe. I would have to be number 1. Could not cope with less than 1. And why settle for less than number 1? Yeah, there's some fun secret lore about me for you to share today as well. I love treating my friendships like games. Anyway, do you think we should make it come back? Do you think it could make a comeback? Do you think it has a place in today's time? Trying to decide what kind of thing I want to put in there. I'm going to look through my crafting recipes. We haven't crafted anything in a while. You don't think it should come back? Oh, okay. Absolutely not. I don't think it could ever come back. I think it would be so dangerous to have that today. I do not think that would be a very good idea. I think a lot of people would get really hurt. Oh, wait, we have the Iron Garden table. I think I talked about wanting this before, didn't I? Oh, no, what I talked about was the bench. And it's not even this bench. Well, we can use this anyway. Hold on. Let me get some iron. NIJISANJI EN straw page ranking. I feel like straw page is basically just the modern version, the modern equivalent of MySpace friendship rankings. I feel like people will open things like that for anonymous messages, and then people will say mean things anonymously. And then it's like, why did people say mean things to me anonymously? I personally think having a space where people can message you secretly is so dangerous and not fun. Power to you if you are brave enough to do that, but I don't like it. I've never liked it. I think it's scary. I think it's better to just speak and be known as who you are as you speak, personally. Yeah, that is the exact reason that I do not have a marshmallow QA. I understand a lot of talents will open them, sometimes just for specific streams, sometimes for just general feedback on stuff. And I do want you to have a space like that to give this kind of information and to exchange it with me, but also I refuse. I'm allergic to that. I'm afraid. Sorry. But I'm also not at all. And I will never change. Do not expect it. The day will never come that I set up a marshmallow. I do not like them. I love it for other people. Not for me. I think that in general, people are more inclined to be nice and to speak in a nice and friendly way when you know exactly who they are as they speak, right? And when they know that you know who they are. I think it incentivizes kindness a little bit more. I think we can always use a little bit more kindness, right? I think I'm going to go get more customization kits. Yeah. I think that in general is one of the reasons you see... I don't know if this is like too real of a topic. Never be... I don't know. Never take the things I say too seriously, but I do think that one of the reasons you see a lot of cruelty on the internet compared to in real life is specifically because people feel safer when you don't know who they are and it's not like attached to who they are. When they feel it does not reflect who they are. So I kind of like the idea of, you know, I like to know who's talking to me. That way, if you choose to be mean, I know it at least means something to you. That you would commit to it, right? That's how I feel. But having anonymous spaces like that can also be nice. Because it can kind of feel like a sweet surprise. Which is fun. I respect that. Not for me, but awesome for other people. People who are mean on the internet are usually mean IRL. I don't know. Maybe sometimes. But I think those who are willfully mean on the internet
usually are only mean on the internet because it feels safer. That being said, I did not recommend it ever, regardless of any consequence. Even if you could 100% go unpunished forever, not a cool thing to do. Meanness is never necessary, and it doesn't ever really benefit anything. The one exception I make is pretend joke meanness, specifically among close friends. And even then, I actually don't like that very much either. Like in my own friendships, the most I like there is like mild forms of teasing. It was both chairs, right? Yeah, that's how I feel. Criticism, that is different. Criticism and meanness are not the same thing. And they're also not mutually exclusive is the thing. You can give mean criticism. And sometimes you can give thoughtful criticism and still have it be mean if it was not welcomed, is the thing. The important thing with criticism is TPO. You gotta consider time, place, and occasion. Is this criticism wanted? Is it welcomed? Will it actually help them? Is it something they want to hear, etc.? If it's unwarranted, it's kind of like, I'm just gonna be mean and use criticism as a way to do that, is how it reads, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I get the perspective of just wanting to help people, because that's the kind of person I used to be. That's something I had to learn from. I used to be the kind of person that would offer uninvited criticism at every opportunity. Oh my god, I was the most annoying person in the world. It constantly, like every waking moment, I'd be like, you know, this would probably be better if you did this way instead. Nobody asked. Pipe down. Yeah. But like I get the mindset, right? Because I've been there. I've been that guy. I understand the mindset. So it's like I'm not I understand why people do that. Still not the move. Still not the move. Do not vouch for that. Generally, it is better to ask, hey, do you mind if I critique this? Or are you looking for criticism on this? Or are you looking to improve this at all? Make sure that you got the landing cleared, you know? Then you go in. And even then, you choose your words very carefully. You make sure you're not saying anything hurtful. Like, oh, this would be good, but actually it's ugly. And like, if you're going to offer criticism, it has to be something that somebody can actually improve. Yeah. It has to be invited and it has to be appropriate. Otherwise, it's just meanness disguised as criticism, is how I feel. But it's a complicated art and it's a very situational art as well, you know? There are situations where a string of words will be completely appropriate, and then other situations where that exact same string of words is not appropriate. Very complicated. But communication is everything. If you just ask people questions openly and are patient and understanding when people are not receptive of these things, you're usually going to be fine. Oh, you know what? I should be catching some fish before we wrap. Because this guy's here. I can make some bank if I can actually successfully catch anything. All right, what's it going to be? Give me a challenge. All right. What's the challenge? CJ, Justin. 3 big time fish, about the size of a dab. All right. Can I get 3 in a row is the question. That one's too small. Yeah, he's a streamer. He's just like me for real. What cracks me up about this guy is that his name is Justin in the Japanese version of the game. Because Justin Bieber. Justin Dare. Yeah, no, his Japanese name is Justin. And so, since his name is CJ with dots, indicating that it's like short for like a 2-part name, 1 letter C, 1 letter J. I kind of imagine that C stands for something and then the J stands for Justin. So I wonder, like, what is the C for? What's his full name in English? Would it be like Christopher Justin or something like that, you know? Yeah, I'm so serious. His Japanese name is just Justin. Justine. And I think it's implied that it's because beaver sounds like Bieber in Japanese. Lock in. Ugh! Number 1. Come on, show me another big one. All right, here's a big one. Lock in. I'll never fail. Come on. Take the bait. There's no bait on this hook. It's just a duck. Chip Jr. Oh! I almost got distracted. Nice. That's kind of cute. Wait, hold on. What's the name of the other beaver from older Animal Crossing games? Was his name Chip? What was his name? Is this big enough? He said about the size of a dab, right? This should be big enough. Is there a character in the Animal Crossing games named Chip? Named Chip? Come on, I can't let you slip off. Be nice to me. Okay. Oh my gosh, I got so nervous. We passed. Dekita. Ware no kachi. The older beaver. So his dad is Chip. So he's actually Chip Jr. He's his son. That's so cute. So they're related. I didn't know that. I wondered before because they're the same animal, right? But I never connected it fully. You caught 3 big time fish in a row already? First try, baby. I was gonna make the chat explode. So much for my Sea Sports challenge. Way to fish. He's so cute. He's just like me. He's got my soul piercing turquoise-ish eyes. He's got sunglasses. So he also has Shu Yamino's hair. He's kind of like if we fused and became a beaver. All right, buy my fish, please. That's why we did this. He buys fish at an elevated price. And I gotta make some money. Yeah, Chip Jr. So Justin has nothing to do with it. Or maybe it's Chip Justin. Hey, and Big Justice. Yeah, it's our gem fusion. I'm never gonna get the streak. There is a number of Nook Miles challenges in this. Hold on, in the fishing section. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Is it flea flicker? Where's the fishing section? Cast Master. You get the Nook Miles on a basis of how many you get in a row without missing any. My biggest record of locking in really hard was 29. I'm never going to make it to the highest one, which I think is 100. I will never get 100 in a row. I will finish so many of these other milestones over the indefinite future of playing this game until they make a sequel again. I will never get Castmaster all the way to 100. I will never do it. I just get too nervous. Especially on stream where I'm playing with a slight delay as well. It's a small delay, but big enough that it makes a big difference when I'm fishing. Yeah, it is easier for me off stream specifically because when I play off stream, it's usually to relax rather than to actually make progress. So I'll actually usually play it in my bed off stream. I'll pop it out of the dock now, which I used to never do. I used to exclusively play it like for example, I'd set up in the living room and play it on the TV. But nowadays, I like to pull it out of its little dock and play it in the mobile version of the Switch too, or where it's popped out on the move, and I bundle up under my blankie, and that's how I play. Fishing isn't particularly hard in Animal Crossing in general, in any of the Animal Crossings. It's just hard for me because I get nervous. It's just a basic patience and timing game. If you anticipate it too much, then you end up missing it. Help to close the eyes normally, but again, because I'm playing on stream with a slight delay between what I push and what actually happens on the screen, I do unironically have to see it and anticipate it a little bit to actually make it. Okay. Nice. Fishing in Stardew Valley makes me nervous. Yeah, honestly, I struggle with fishing in most games except for Minecraft. Stardew Valley's fishing is a little bit different though. With Stardew Valley, I can just kind of like battle the fish until I've got it. And it's usually fine. In this game, it's one shot. Instantaneous victory or defeat. A workout top? Did I really say that? Alright, show it to me. Let's try it on. Considering that the island is now covered tip to tail in snow, let's see what he wants me to wear. I think this guy wants me to get frostbite. It's a bit chilly, yeah. I'm not doing so good. Holy moly. It's even cropped. Not even just uncovered arms, it's like the belly too. With a low collar. This guy wants me to freeze. He wants me to be the caveman from that other ancient meme about Scooby-Doo. That ancient Scooby-Doo meme. The original YouTube poop. Do you know that one? Our outfit is so cute today. He's a sheriff around these parts. They all have fur. Well, I don't. I've only got it on my head. That doesn't count at all. It's not keeping me warm. Hence the fact that I'm fully clothed and they don't wear pants. Maybe we should set up the other incline. I'll need to prioritize some other stuff before I actually pay it off, but it would help when the time comes for us to actually decorate that area. Whoa there. Alright. I should check this too. I need to start checking it more reliably to make sure I'm not missing any Nook shopping items. Because this is a good way to find fun decorations as well, just like shopping in the regular shop. I want these. Thinking emoji, okay. Alright. This is the fence I was talking about, by the way. Potentially using this for the museum. I think this would fit like a... If we did the... Like the stone flooring design, if we did the stone pattern on the ground, the default one from the base game, rather than a custom design, this could look really nice for that, I think. It could help. If not for that, then for the cemetery, which I want to do behind it, or for both of them, and I could connect them. It could be like part museum, part cemetery. Yeah. Could be nice. 5 minutes till 8:30. Thank you. So nice. That'll be our sign to start winding down a little bit. My hard cutoff is 9 p.m. But I'll start winding down here in a few minutes. Reach a good stopping point. Let's see, is there anything else I want to grab for the museum, for anything? We could grab more. Where are they? Street lamps. This one. These would be nice to have. Let's just honestly go all in on these. And I can make them match the color. Take them to Cyrus at some point. Match the color of the ones in my Resident Services Center Plaza. And then we can expand our area the next time we do some intensive decorating. And I think by that point, we'll actually be able to move a villager's home to a final place. Like lock it into a real spot and keep it there. How many more of these can I do? Is there a limit to these? Surely I can't just order 100 of these. All right, let's get it down to 25,000. Okay, never mind. Yeah, all the villagers are still in their temporary housing area, where I've just kind of sequestered them off to the side where they'd be out of the way of development in other areas. But now that we have the path from the Resident Services Center all the way east to where the museum is locked in, we can start doing the first neighborhood area, which will be a slightly more developed neighborhood area, I think. But I kind of want to reassess our map before we do that. In fact, I think I do kind of want to draw a new one now that we've made progress like this. This is a pretty good point to really think critically about what we want from the island and how we want it to be laid out. Especially before I lock in the river as well. That's something else that is kind of floating around in the back of my head as something I haven't fully committed to. I don't know exactly how I want to do that yet. Yeah. I'm not very sure. Not very sure. And I think another day at the blueprint table could help. Yeah, new blueprint. We could reflect on the old one really quick though while we're here, while we're talking about it. So for reference, this is the one that we designed before. This is the one we designed before. I've got my little pointer here as well, if you'd like to see it. So we've got housing area exactly as planned for myself, like my own little home corner. Exactly, you know, it's not exactly one-to-one, but that is by design. I think we mentioned then that it would not be perfect. Got a path leading from private beach all the way to the secret beach here in the northeast. We've got the walkway to the Resident Services Center is still the same as before. As planned, we've got an incline that crosses a bridge, heads to the east to a like a two incline function that leads to the museum. That is exactly as planned so far. Or mostly as planned. So we can start thinking about which villagers we want here, or if we want them here exactly. This is the time to really consider that, because the river is already looking different than planned to a significant degree. This is the time to figure out exactly how I want it to flow. So we can play with that the next time. We can pull out a drawing tablet, I think. Really pull out the pen and put it to paper, you know? 8:30, thank you. I'm imagining you just going like, 8:30, 8:30, 8:30. Thank you for the reminder. You're always so helpful. Okay, let's find a place and take a little photo together. Let's go. Actually, hold on. I kind of want one more quest for today. I had something I kind of wanted to do today. The house isn't fully ready for it, but I got a recipe recently from a balloon. Where is it? Is it under like a seasonal section? Is that what it is? Yes. Okay. I need 3 red, 3 blue, and 2 gold ornaments. I want to make a Christmas tree. And then I'll put it in my house. Yeah, that'll be our last quest for today. I feel like the Grinch. I'll take it back to my workshop, my dear. Ooh, I'll fix it up there. And I'll bring it back here. Give me some more. Okay. Almost there. We just need one more of each. We need to watch Jim Carrey's The Grinch. All right, we need one more gold. Was the Grink there? Do you know that one? I love Was the Grink there. That's one of my favorite memes. Somebody referenced it near me recently and it cracked me up really bad. I just missed a star, but it's too late. I've already committed to this. Give me a gold. I don't need any more red and blue. Give me a gold. Was the Grink there? Finish Danzo Messi. I've thought about it a lot. I kind of want to, but I also deliberately got it up to a point so that you could watch the rest of it alone. I don't know. I'd feel bad to do it now. Ooh, spider. Maybe. I don't know. There's so much to do. An infinite time to do it, but I also would love to just do it all at the same time, you know? Is this gacha? Yes. I just need 1 gold. Surely we can get 1 gold within the next 30 minutes. Surely we can get 1 gold. You're waiting for me. I outright told you to watch the rest of it alone if you wanted. I got it up to a really good point. I got it up to a really good stopping point so you would be insatiably curious and would have to watch the rest. What the heck? Where are the gold ornaments? I just want a gold one. You didn't continue? What? Oh man. No promises, but I will remember. That being said, I may yield to something that's more seasonal before continuing it. Oh my god. I've got so many more than what I need for the other 2. Where's my gold ornament? Finally! Oh my god. Make sure I got this right. All right, lock in, get some wood. I was wondering why it took 2 of the other 2, but only 1 of the gold one. Or 3 of the other 2 and only 2 of the gold one. Got it backwards. Oh my god, the babies have been born? Holy moly. Wait, they played home in the delivery room? What? That's absurd. What's going on? What? I'm too involved in this creature's life. Don't do that. That's crazy. That's so crazy. That's insane. What? Whoa. Holy moly. Congratulations, by the way. Oh my god, what? Yeah, see, you did this. No, I'm kidding. Holy moly. I'm gonna have an existential crisis over this later. This is the first time a baby's ever been named after me, I think. Yeah, to my knowledge. I knew it was coming, but still. Oh my gosh. Wow. I feel like that one scene from Children of the Sea, Kaiju no Kodomo. That's what I feel like right now, near the end. I'm just sitting and thinking about the depth of human life. My voice was the first thing they heard. That is so crazy. That is insane. I feel so good and so weird. Do you know what I mean? It's not bad, just to be clear. I do not feel bad, but I feel so weird. You know what I mean? Oh my gosh. That is insane. Wow. All right, we gotta find a place for our Christmas tree. It's kind of lonely without the music, isn't it? Luckily, I got this, which I think is very classic Animal Crossing. The youngest person ever. Holy moly. Yeah, if you think you're the youngest Debonair, you'd be dead wrong. There was once a second-old Debonair. Think about that for a second. You got in the game too late. That is absurd to me. Oh my god. Wow. Holy moly. I'm going KK Boston now. We're going classic vibes. Yeah, we got a Christmas tree. It's a tiny little tree, but I'm proud of it. I love the little bell on the front. I think that's actually one of my favorite recurring Christmas decorations is a little bell with a red ribbon on the top. I would love to wear one of these at some point in the future, maybe. Like if I ever have like a Christmas outfit, I'd love to have one of these as a collar piece. It'd be really nice. I love that Christmas palette of like gold with red ribbons. It's one of my favorite color palettes. Alright, take our souvenir photo. Actually, hold on. No. Yeah, wishing you and your babies the best. Holy moly. It's a very crazy experience, I imagine. Yeah, best of luck. Make sure that you rest as much as you can. You got a long road ahead of you. My reaction to this information. Okay, here you go. In their honor, this is my souvenir photo for today. Me when I'm told that there is a baby out there named after me that heard my song as its first sound. That is just crazy to me. That is absurd. I don't know what to do about this information. Holy moly. All right. Let's put this baby to sleep. Oh my gosh. I'm floored. Wow. Anyway, wow. Let's wrap. I'll be thinking about that for a while. Stretch. Upper shoulders. Ooh. Oh, sorry. Hold on. All right, done stretching. Sorry about that. Yeah, I keep forgetting the reverb when I stretch at the end of streams. I'm losing the tradition. I'm losing the old records. The ancient texts are being forgotten. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I know it was not super long compared to usual, but I feel like it's pretty average time for me at this point. So I'm glad that we could hang out today. I'm glad we could catch up a little bit, reflect on some recent events, recent experiences. Maybe we glossed over some things we can talk about more in the future, but yeah, I had a lot of fun today. I will lock in on my obligation here in a bit. Then I'll do some important work. I got some administrative work to take care of before I go to bed tonight. So do root for me. I'll do my best. I'll be rooting for you as well, as always. Yeah, I hope you could enjoy today as I did. Let's see. I will send you to who's live. Aya Amare will be the recipient today. She's playing Divinity Original Sin 2 for the very first time. So that's pretty cool. Something I really love about redirecting to Aya Amare is that she always teaches me something. So if you're interested in learning about something she's super interested in, you gotta stick around and listen for a bit. And it's the sweetest thing in the world. It's one of my favorite sounds ever, is somebody talking about something they're interested in, something that they really like. I just think it's really, really, it just feels really warm to hear somebody talk excitedly about something they like, right? So yeah, schedule soon. Yes. Honestly, I might have all of it planned. I just have to double check a couple things first before I publish it. My current plan is members only tomorrow, just a members only chatting stream. Should be a fun collab on Thursday. I think we have the game figured out, but it's not 100% yet, I think. I don't know if we confirmed it. So I'll wait for confirmation, like clear confirmation. But yeah. Should be a collab on Thursday. And then Friday, unfortunately, you probably will not see a stream from me. Realistically, probably will not see a stream from me. Because, as you may know, there is a pretty cool fan meet event Friday night, Saturday morning, depending on your time zone. So I'm excited for that. That being said, it'll be a very long commitment for me. I'll be working with that event for many hours in a row, so I'll do my best to stay awake. I'll be shifting my schedule forward a little bit to make sure I'm available and awake for that. Really excited for the fan meet. If you're going for that, I hope you enjoy it. If not, surely there will be similar events in the future in other areas. I hope. That is my dream. I wanna work hard and get invited to similar things. So. Very excited for that. As such, it being a big commitment, I probably will not stream that day. You might see a morning stream, but do not count on it because I'll probably be sleeping through the mornings. Make sure I'm waking up so that I can be alert for this event. Finally, Saturday, I want to finish fall. It's like right at the witching hour. It's like 1 or 2 days before the first official day of winter, but we need to finish fall in Stardew Valley. So Saturday, we will play Stardew Valley, is what I'm thinking. 7 p.m. EST, same time as usual. Same thing with the members-only stream tomorrow, 7 p.m. EST. Thursday's collab should be 9 p.m. EST, is the plan. Yeah, I will not confirm anything else about it until I know everybody else is on the same page, just because that's the polite thing to do, right? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to send you to Miss Aya. I'm going to send you to Miss Aya. Please show her some kindness. Be nice, be polite. If you choose to participate in the redirect, please be sure to read her rules and follow them. Be respectful. You want to set a good impression. You know, you always want to behave. You're always so well behaved. I very much appreciate that. And of course, you do not have to participate in the redirect. If you're reaching the end of your rope, if it's the end of the line, that's totally cool. In either case, I hope that you get some good rest. I hope that you have some nice, yummy food. I'm due for a meal soon too. I think I might eat through my meeting. Do you think they'll judge me? They definitely won't. It's been done before. Yeah, have some good food when you can. And in the meantime, please stay safe, all right? Stay safe till I see you again. All right. Let me make sure I set that up right. Okay. Sugoi. All right. Till next time. Bye-bye.